Hello, all you brilliant pharmacists. Today is a day of celebration, and we are actually celebrating that our English group, Facebook group, has reached over 1,000 members. I thank you all for that. I appreciate you being part of our community. It's the quality and the quantity of our community that gives us strength, that helps us all because the more we are, the more we can help each other, and the more quality people we have in our community, the more we will all benefit in this journey to become a pharmacist in Ireland. So I thought, how could I celebrate the fact that we have another Facebook group in Romanian. We have over 270 pharmacists there as well. So we are well over 1,000. But yesterday I saw that we were reaching 998 and 999, and I was sure that we would reach 1,000, and we did, and we surpassed it anyway. We reached over 1,000 members in our Facebook group today, so I thought we would celebrate in the best way that we know how, and that is by learning new things about pharmacy in Ireland. And the ABCs of pharmacy in Ireland are prescriptions, right? We will be checking loads of prescriptions. That's our job. So I thought we might go. I have a lot of prescriptions ready for you today. I have prescriptions. I have controlled drug prescriptions, Suboxone prescriptions, veterinary prescriptions, prescriptions written in installments. Yeah, all sorts of scripts. Yeah, we'll go through each of them. And you can ask me questions live. You can ask them in the Facebook group. You can ask them on the YouTube channel, and I will see your comments, and I will try to answer them my best. That's the point. The whole point of this being live and not recorded, because if it was recorded, you guys couldn't ask questions live. But those of you that make the effort to be here live, you can ask the questions. Okay, cool. Now, let me see here. I am going to share my screen with you, and I am going to dive right in. Now, before I actually do dive right in, I want to make it's like publicity break. I have a job for you guys in Limerick. If you are a European pharmacist and you want to start working as a technician until you actually do register, I have a job for you. You can start as soon as you'd like. You can jump in a plane, come here and work as a technician in a lovely store. And then when you register as a pharmacist, you will start working as a pharmacist. How cool is that, right? All right. End of publicity break. We are back, right? Grand. Let me see. Let me share my screen with you. Okay. Preferably a window, and I would only have. Okay, I will share with you my entire screen just because I want to. Cool. I will no longer see you there. Okay, let's see. Chrome tab. No. Okay. Bear with me one little second. Okay, and perfect. See, I can share with you my Canva. Okay, so let's dive right into it. I will just no comments yet. Okay, if you have questions about prescriptions, you can start typing them, but I will start going through the prescriptions that I have ready for you guys. Okay, this is a hospital prescription. Obviously a handwritten one, not very tightly written, but it says loperamide 4 milligram, and this is stat, STAT. That means to start. So the starting dose is 4 milligrams, which is 2 capsules, which you already know. And this is PO for route of administration. PO is basically Latin for by mouth. So it's 4 milligrams, the starting dose to be taken by mouth. And this is then loperamide 2 milligrams after each loose stool. So one capsule after each loose stool. Then it goes on with Nexium, diarylite, which are rehydration salts. After each loose stool. QID means 4 times daily. For 3/7 is 3 days. So the bottom number gives you, if it's 7, it means days because there's 7 days in a week. If this number would have been 52, it would have meant weeks. If it was 12, it would have meant months. So if we had here 3/12, it would have meant for 3 months. If it was 3/52, it would have meant 3 weeks. But because it's 3/7, it means it's 3 days. Flagyl, 400 milligrams. TDS means 3 times daily. PO by mouth for 5 days. And then we have paracetamol. This is 1 gram, so 2 tablets of 500 milligrams. TDS 3 times daily. PO, so by mouth, for 3 days. And very important here, we have discontinue flucloxacillin and calvipen. So this patient was on flucloxacillin and calvipen, and we have to notify him on the label that we're going to make. We have to say it, and we have to verbally say it. The pharmacist has to verbally say it to the customer when he collects, to say discontinue these 2 meds. So you're going to say it on the label of Flagyl, basically, because that's what's replacing them. And you're going to put a sticker on the bag as well. Then it goes on the shelf, and when the patient comes to collect it, when the front of shop staff member takes the bag, it sees the sticker that says consult the pharmacist, and you're going to go out to the patient and say, look, you are on flucloxacillin and calvipen, and you need to stop those drugs, and you're going to start a new one called Flagyl. That's how you make sure that the patient understands. A quick one for those of you who know almost nothing about the Irish system. Here, when the customer comes in, he drops in this prescription, for example, and you tell him, come back in half an hour, come back in 1 hour, or whatever time suits you. In that time, you get it ready. You pop it into the computer, and the computer is going to give you labels for each one of these medications, and you stick on those labels. On the Flagyl label, you're going to say stop the flucloxacillin and the calvipen, and then you're going to write in a unit label, and you're going to stick that to the outside of the bag, because you're going to pop the medications in a paper bag. You're going to seal it with sellotape. You're going to put a label with the patient's name and address on it, and it's going to go on a shelf. And when the patient comes back to collect that his medication, he's just going to say the name, and it's going to be in alphabetical order. The front of shop staff member is going to see the bag there, and is going to hand it out and charge the money for it. You don't handle the money in any way. So that's a very short description of how the process goes in Ireland. Let me see if you guys are typing in any comments. I must be very, very explicit, because you guys got it all. Now, if you have questions about this particular prescription, you can go ahead and type them in the comments. I will go on to the next one, but if I see questions, I can go back and answer them. Okay, perfect. Now, another hospital prescription is handwritten as well. You can see here Ramipril 2.5 PO, so by mouth, OD. OD means once daily. O is for once, D is for daily. Bisoprolol 5 milligrams PO, so by mouth, once daily. Here it says hold amiodarone. Again, we have to notify the customer and say, look, you are on a drug called amiodarone. You need to hold that. Stop taking that until your doctor tells you to restart it, if they ever do. And then it's apixaban 5 milligrams by mouth, BD, so twice daily. B is the second letter of the alphabet, so it's twice. You think it is twice. BD twice daily. Furosemide 40 milligrams by mouth once daily. And here you have amlodipine 10 milligrams by mouth once daily, but you have an arrow pointing up. It means that this particular customer was on a lower dose of amlodipine, be it 5 or maybe even 2.5 or whatever. But just for you, this is the arrow was made by the doctor to let the pharmacist know that this is not a mistake, that they actually meant to increase the dose. You can actually see that it was written as 5 milligrams, but then the doctor was like, oh no, 10. So on the amlodipine label, we're going to say one to be taken daily. And then in brackets, we're going to say increased dose as um, per prescription in and whatever date it was. Or you can just say increased dose, so the customer knows it's an intended increased dose, so that the customer doesn't panic and ring you and say, oh, I was on amlodipine 5, I got the 10s now, is that a mistake? Or whenever there are changes, it's good for the doctor to communicate them to the pharmacist, and the pharmacist to communicate them to the patient. Omeprazole 20 milligrams once daily by mouth, and atorvastatin 80 milligrams by mouth once daily for 30 days, and then times 6. So this X means times, like multiplication. Times 6, it means that this prescription is for 6 months. Okay, fairly straightforward. I started with the easy ones first. Cool, no comments. Okay, let's see. Would you prefer this so you can actually see this better, or just let me disappear off the screen completely? Actually, if I'm here, it's the same size, so you actually don't lose nothing, but you can still see my ugly mug. Okay, let's jump into that. Okay, if any questions, type them in the comments and I will answer them. Now, here's a more interesting one with ear or eye drops wherever they need to instill them. It says 1 times 10 mils Sofradex ear or eye drops. Then it has the active ingredients in it and the strengths. It says 2 to be taken 3 times daily, and that 1/52 is 1, and 52 means weeks because there are 52 weeks in 1 year. So for 1 week, but it's not 1 to be taken or 2 to be taken 3 times daily, because to be taken means you ingest them, right? But these are drops, so they go in the ear or in the eye. So we are actually going to say instill 2 drops 3 times daily for 7 days. Now, we can actually go out when the customer collects and asks, are they to be instilled in the ear or in the eye? Where's the problem? But we're not going to be saying 2 to be taken 3 times daily, okay? Okay, this one was fairly straightforward, and you guys still have no questions. Okay. And now this one is, let me make it bigger for you. I would have made it bigger for you, but I can't. Nope. Can't. No. Annoying. Okay, this will have to do as size. Oh, this is it. Perfecto. Much better. Now, you're going to see prescriptions coming in with certain items, and then you're going to see BMX. And when I saw it first time in Ireland, I was like, BMX is a bike, right? Because that's all it said, BMX. In better cases, you're going to see on the prescription saying BMX mouthwash. And at least that's going to make some sense. But BMX mouthwash, the BMX comes from Benylin, Maalox, and Xylocaine. So this is an extempt prescription that the pharmacist makes up in the pharmacy. So when you're gonna get one of those scripts, you're actually gonna get to do some pharmacist old-fashioned work. Now, you can actually go on extempt.ie. I have a separate video on this one on how to use extempt.ie, and grab this very template on how to prepare this extempt prescription. So you're gonna use the Benylin cough syrup. This is the quantity you're gonna use. You're gonna use the Maalox suspension. This is the quantity, and lidocaine 2% ampules, 20 mils. You're gonna write in the batch numbers for everything that you use and the expiry date. It can be prepared by a technician, so the technician signs here, or it can be prepared by the pharmacist, and then the pharmacist signs here and here. If the technician prepares it, the technician signs here, and the pharmacist signs here that he checked it. And the date of preparation is here. The expiry date is usually 7 days after, or in the case of BMX, it might actually be a little bit more. Yeah, here it actually says the date they calculated on the 7th of August 2021, and the batch number was written here. Cool. Yeah, for most extempt prescriptions, it's 7 days, but for this mouthwash, it's actually it's actually close to 1 month. Okay. Open 7 days. Perfect. So the method of making it up is observe the general methods of making prescriptions intended for oral use. You measure the required volume of Benylin, so 125 mils, and 125 mils of Maalox, and you transfer into a suitable bottle. So you put those two and you mix them. You open a lidocaine ampule and you draw up 20 mils. Using a syringe fitted with a filter needle. So we have needles that have filters in them that would not allow small pieces of glass from the ampule to cross into our preparation there. So whenever you're pulling out of a vial that's made of glass, you're going to break that vial, but you're going to extract the content using a filter needle. Very important. And then you remove the filter needle and transfer the lidocaine solution to the bottle. So you just add them to the other two. close the bottle and shake up the suspension, and then you just label it. So all you do is like pour, extract out of a vial, pour, give it a good shake, and it's ready to go. But you get to say that you did some pharmacist work, right? Okay, and then the directions would be rinse 5 mils around the mouth 4 times daily as required. All right, perfect. First questions deserves a prize. I was kind of looking for a question. And now we have two. Grant. Thank you guys. I love questions. So it says, hi, if you see in your system that a patient used 5 milligrams amlodipine and now prescription shows 10 milligram without an arrow, do you need to contact the doctor to check the dosage? Yeah, you would. That would be best practice. You would be best off to contact the prescriber, especially if the amlodipine 5 was written by the GP and the amlodipine 10 is written by the hospital. The GP is the general practitioner, so like a family doctor. The first step would be maybe asking the patient if he's aware of any increased dose. If he says, yeah, the doctor told me he would increase my amlodipine, that's good enough for me. If he says, no, I'm not aware of any changes, then you definitely ring the doctor. But yeah, communication is key. It's very important. It's very easy when several doctors are prescribing to actually make a mistake and say 5 or 10 or whatever, and then we have the patient taking the wrong dose. So very, very good question. Yeah, as often as you can, you should contact the prescriber and make sure that's the intended dose. Okay. Quick question. Benylin is taken for diphenhydramine, so in this sense, we could use either original one or the nighttime one, isn't it? I wouldn't change anything to the prescription. If the pharmacist that's on duty wants to change, obviously he has the option to do so. But I would just stick to the prescription myself. Sure, you can. If, like I said, this is a pharmacist's decision. But I would, if I didn't have it in stock, I would wait for the following day until I could order it in, or maybe in the evening with the evening order. But this is based on an individual decision of the pharmacist. I couldn't advise yes or no. It's a personal decision, and each pharmacist makes it in his own on his own responsibility. But it wouldn't be anything major if you actually did substitute it. Because they have identical composition. Yeah. I would still stick with the original script because you're covered as, like, it's a well-known script and you're covered. But if say that goes short and you don't have, oh, I see you say here in case one is short. Yeah, so it's the pharmacist's decision. Some pharmacists may choose to do it, some not, but I would say most would choose to actually do it, to use the substitution. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Now I only see Facebook users, so I don't know who asked the question. But very, very good questions. Okay, I love the questions so far. It helps us learn more from these scripts. Okay, going forward. This is just a blank thing that I added by mistake. This one is a funny one because It says Oromorph 10 milligrams slash 5 mils. That's the strength. Um, 5 milligrams 4 hourly. So 4 and the O here means 4 hourly, which means every 4 hours. And then you have the slash and it says PRN. PRN means as required, as in if you don't need it to control the pain right then, you don't have to take it every 4 hours. But if you need to, if you're in pain and you need pain relief, you can take it every 4 hours. PO is by mouth. Please dispense 1 bottle. Now, Oromorph is a controlled drug, which means that we as pharmacists look for quantity to be written in like mils here, not 1 bottle, because it comes in a 100 ml bottle and a 300 or a 150 ml bottle. And we would be looking for quantities and stuff like that. So I actually rang the hospital about this one, and the hospital secretary said their hospital pharmacist said that it's not required to be written as as mils and words and figures, the quantity to be written in words and figures and all that, because it's not a CD2 drug, because it's a CD4, and CD4 drugs do not go into the CD register. So Oromorph, yeah, you actually don't write it in. It's kept in the safe, but it's like Northam, you don't write it in the book. So the rules around it would be a bit less strict. So I was like, okay, now I remember. Oromorph doesn't need to be written in that, so in the city register, so you don't have to be all that strict about it. But 4 hourly, 4 and the little circle there means 4 hourly, so that will be useful for you guys. Okay. Going forward, these are just added by me by mistake, because I wanted to increase the image and I pressed some stuff that I shouldn't have. Let's see. This is blister packs. Okay, I'm gonna show you blister packs in a second. Just want to see if we have anything else. Okay, let me see this one now. This one doesn't fit to its size. This was a lovely Suboxone script. I just wanted to show you. I don't know who wrote this one, but it's very tightly written, very neat writing. And it doesn't really fit into the can I increase that? No. Didn't fit right in the frame. I have a separate video of a training of 1 hour training just with methadone and Suboxone scripts, and you can see all the details about this type of prescription in that video. It has a black thumbnail on my YouTube channel, and it says live on the thumbnail, and it says, I think the title is like training for pharmacists that want to work in Ireland or something. So just wanted you to see the neat writing. You can see all the details. I explained them all in the details there. Okay, this is the one I was looking for. This is another controlled drug prescription for Concerta. And it even says Concerta and the strength is 27, and then in brackets it says 27, although only the quantity is mandated by law to be written in words and figures. So 27 milligrams mane. So mane means morning. Um, tarde would have been evening, and nocte would have been at night. So this one's 27 milligrams mane, so in the morning, total of 90, and then we have the quantity written in words and figures. 90 tablets in 3 installments of 30 per installment. This is a correctly written prescription in installments. So usually for controlled drugs, the doctor has to prescribe them every single month, a new prescription. But if the doctor wants to write a 3-month prescription, they cannot just say Concerta, 27 milligrams one daily, 30 tablets, repeat by 3 or by 2. They can't do that. That wouldn't be a legal prescription. But if the doctor specifies the number of installments and the number of tablets per each installment, then that script is perfect for us to dispense every month. The rule is you dispense uh, the first dispensing has to be within um, 14 days of the date on the prescription. Then the second one, like around 28 days, but maybe less from the first dispensing. And then the last dispensing has to be within 60 days of the date written on the prescription. So basically, the customer really has to come on day 1 or day 2, maybe, with the script. You dispense him the first one. 28 days later, you dispense the second dispensing, and 28 days later, you dispense the third dispensing, and they all add up to make up no more than 60 days from the date of the prescription being written. And I have a cold. Okay, any questions about installments? We don't have questions about installments because we understood everything, because you're the greatest, Sorin. Yay, go. Cool. Yeah, thank you guys for all the compliments. Let's go on because I'm going to get shy now. Okay, this is a veterinary prescription. You can see here is the animal's name and the species and the breed, and then the actual weight and the age. This one I believe was for a dog, and 15 years old is a pretty old dog. Okay, this would be the name of the owner and the address of the owners. And then we have 42 tablets of Eldepril, 5 milligrams. Give 1 tablet once daily, preferably in the morning time. And now, under veterinary substitution of different medication over a licensed veterinary product is illegal, and it kind of takes you to that. And here, the patient, the customer signs that the dog is under my care, so it's there. Further repeats 1, so we can give it 1, and next month they can come back and get another 42 tablets. It was written on the 24th of February, and then on the 24th of August it would go out of date. So basically 6 months. Anyway, even if this wasn't written, the script is valid for only 6 months. Any script in Ireland is only valid for a maximum of 6 months. It used to be up to 9 months during COVID, but that's over now, and we are back to 6 months. It even says here the prescription is valid for 6 months from the date signed or until the date below, but there's no date below. Veterinary scripts are kept in a separate folder and are inspected by a separate inspector. And I was gonna say something interesting, and then the thought ran out of my mind. Um, oh yeah. So in the file in the computer, you would have like, say the name, the animal's name is Coco, and he is a dog. So you would have the name Coco, and in the brackets you would say the dog, and then you for the surname you'd put the surname of the owner. So you would have my surname is Tamash, right? And you would have this Coco, the dog, Tamash. So when I come to collect, it would be like, hey, I'm here to collect for Coco, the dog. And they would say, what's the surname? And I would say Tamash, and they would find the prescription under T. Um, so they would know kind of who the owner is. I think that covers everything you need about um, veterinary prescriptions. And ooh, this one is nice, but it didn't fit in. Silly little Canva. Copy step is duplicate. Nope, 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 nope. Funny enough, is I can change these on my phone, but I can't change these on my laptop. You see, these general medical services is GMS, so it's one of the schemes of the Irish pharmacy, which I have a separate video on because it would take me a long, long time to explain it to you. Uh, so just browse the channel and look for the one with the pharmacist in the white robe. It says Irish Pharmacy Schemes Explained, and you're going to find an interesting video there. Why I wanted to show you this is the old, so if it's not in an email, this is how a GMS prescription looks like. And if it's written for 3 months, you get, it looks like this, and then you get two of each. So two of the red ones, two of do I have the blue ones here? Yeah, but they stuck in a nasty way. They have this color and like a pinkish color, and then you don't have them here. Okay. So the thing is, real quickly, gonna go through this. See here, it says first dispensing, and then here second dispensing, which I wrote over it, and here it says third dispensing. So when the customer comes in, he'll drop into you 6 identical scripts. Basically, when the doctor writes on the first one, and it goes on every one of them. It looks like a crayon. Um, so when you're gonna dispense the first month, you're gonna stamp it here in the first dispensing area, and you can hold on to your piece of paper and then give, either put on file in your pharmacy or give back the second and third dispensing. So you give him back 4 papers. When he comes back, you're going to hold on to the next 2 scripts which say second dispensing, and when he comes back, you're going to hold on to the final 2 which say this one. That's the short version of it anyway. But like I said, if you want to go in deeper, you can actually do so on the separate video. True, interesting question. If you have a patient approved for phasing and the GP wants to dispense daily Oxynorm, 25 mils daily, how many installments should be on RX? That's not really installments because it doesn't go over 1 month. So installments are only when the script goes over 1 month, because a CD script is only allowed to be written for 1 month. If the doctor wants to write more than 1 month, that's installments. What you're saying here is phased, so this particular customer has to be approved for phasing. You say here, if you have a patient that is already approved for phasing, if he's already approved, the doctor only has to say like daily or dispense daily, phased dispensing. It has nothing to do with installments, unless the doctor wants to write 3 months worth of Oxynorm. Then you can ask for. But like I said in the other script of Oxynorm, I don't think you actually need installments to be written with this one. But if you wanted to be safe, you could ask the doctor to actually write installments. But I think you can actually dispense it without installments, even if it was a script that covered multiple months. Um, but if you wanted to go for installments, if the doctor only writes like Oxynorm for 1 month, 25 mils daily, they don't need to put any installments on it. You have them approved for phasing, and you set it up in the computer. You put in the full quantity, and then type in the installments if they're weekly or daily or whatever. In this case, it's daily. And whenever the customer comes every day to the pharmacy, you just tap off one of these phased um, one of these phases. So you give them every day the medication. So yeah, basically you don't need installments to be written on the prescription there. Like I said, if it was multiple months, you could ask the doctor to actually write it in installments. But the doctor might come back and say it's not meant to be written in installments because it's CD 4 or 5 or whatever it is, and the rules aren't that strict around it. But great question though. I actually wonder who is typing in these questions, because I only see Facebook user, because the app that I'm using to stream on Facebook and both Facebook groups and on the YouTube channel in the same time requires your approval for me to see your name. So if you type in another question, maybe type your name in the brackets. You made me curious now. Okay, because these are good questions. This is okay. I wanted to show you this first. So promethazine 25 milligrams. So the brand name would be Phenergan. This here, the T with two lines holding it up, and the two dots above means 2 tablets, nocte, which is at night. And then we have PRN, so as required. So if you can't sleep, this is like a tablet that has as a side effect, it causes drowsiness, so it helps you sleep. So when you can't sleep, only as required. If you can't sleep without it, you don't need to take it. That's what the PRN means. Just take 2 tablets. So that's the 2 dots, and T there means 2 tablets. And then we have diphene 50 milligrams TID, so 3 times daily, again as required, only if you're in pain. And then we have Malaxol, the sachets. You see here 1 with 1 dot, and then 2 once daily. So 1 or 2 to be taken once daily. It's a laxative sachet, so you can take 1 or 2 sachets depending on however constipated you feel. And then 60 is the quantity there. You have motilium 10 milligrams. Again, we have the 1 dot above the T, so it means 1 tablet, TID, 3 times daily. And this one says do not substitute. So we're going to give the motilium brand. We're not going to give the generic, for example, Domerid. We're going to go with the motilium brand here because it's actually says do not substitute. Imodium, 1 to be taken 3 times daily as required. And then that's Losec 20 milligrams, one to be taken daily. And I think that was Prozac or something, 40 milligrams, one to be taken daily. So that takes you through that one as well. Ah, Camellia. Nice, nice. Okay, Gran. Very, very good questions. Very good questions. Da-da-da-dum. This is how a high-tech prescription looks like. You have a HTTP number and you have to order it through a hub, which I cannot show you because I cannot log in there. I just wanted you to see how it looks like. This was actually a mistake here. The patient was on it every 2 weeks. But the new script came in with 30 units twice weekly. So we actually called the hospital and said, look, he's been taking it every 2 weeks for a good number of years now. And so all of a sudden it's twice weekly. So what's up with that? And it was just a mistake. But this is how a script looks like. And you need to learn how to order stuff through the high-tech hub, which I am not able to show you because you can only log in from pharmacy computers. Okay. Let's see if we have any interesting stuff here. Oh yeah. So we have 180. This is an email prescription, so an electronic prescription. Tylax gives you the strength and the 2 ingredients, 2 capsules, TDS 3 times a day. So 2 capsules in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 2 in the evening. You have the Xyzal 5, 28 tablets, 1 to be taken daily. You have the Effexor, 1 daily. You have amitriptyline 25, and it says half a tablet once daily. And then we have amitriptyline 25 milligrams again, 1.5 tabs daily. So I'm guessing one of them is in the morning and the other one is at night. And then we have 28, which is woo, Estradot 75, 1 patch daily. Now we all know that Estradot patches are applied every 3 or 4 days, so basically twice weekly. So in this case, we don't even have to contact the doctor because it would never be 1 daily. So we would just make up a correct label saying Estradot 75, apply 1 patch twice weekly. Because it would never be and never ever be 1 daily. Okay, this is a large hospital handwritten prescription, which I am going to go a bit wider so you can see it better. So it kind of says mycostatin mouthwash, 1 ml QDS means 1 ml. QDS means 4 times daily. I think it has something to do with quattro or something from Latin. I don't know and I don't care as long as I know it means 4 times daily. PO, so by mouth, times 3/12. So the 12 means months, 12 months in a year. So 3 means 3 months. 3/12 means 3 months, and it says it's antifungal in the brackets. Cotrimoxazole, the antibiotic, the strength, and this is only to be taken on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's what the MWF means. The patient doesn't take this every day. He only takes it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 3 days a week. PO by mouth, again for 3 months, and it says antibiotic. That's just for the patient to know why he's taking each one of them. Nicotine patch, the 20 milligrams, 24 hourly, so every 24 hours. Top means it's a patch. You stick it onto you. You don't drink it. For 3 months. Calcichew, which is calcium and vitamin D, or it can be calcium, plain calcium, because this one doesn't give you a strength. If it was 500/400, then it would have been the one with vitamin D. This might be the plain calcium. So the T means 1, 3 times a day, TDS for 3 months. We have escitalopram 20 milligrams once daily by mouth for 3 months, antidepressant. Esomeprazole 40 milligrams once daily by mouth and antacid. Folic acid 400 micrograms, so the lower strength once daily for 3 months. Decianin, the 1600 international units, so two of the 800s basically, once daily for 3 months. And it says vitamin D, so the customer can understand what he's taking. Dexamethasone, 4 milligrams twice daily. 4, 5/7. So 7 would be 7 days in a week. So for 5 days. So this is only for 5 days. Twice daily for 5 days. And dexamethasone. And in the brackets, we have wean, which means wean off means gradually going off of it. So you see, the first one says 4 milligrams twice daily for 5 days. And then it's going to be 4 milligrams once daily for 5 days, for the following 5 days. So when you hear the term wean or wean off, it means it doesn't stop it all of a sudden. It goes like with steroids, um, especially, it goes in decreasing doses until we stop with a much lower dose. We reach a much lower dose and we stop. Pregabalin, 75 milligrams twice daily by mouth for only 1 month, and it's for pain. And dexamethasone day 0, 2, and 3. It says 8 milligrams days 0, 2, plus 3 post chemo, one daily. So times 6 cycles. This patient is on chemotherapy, and this dexamethasone is on the day of chemo, which is day 0, and then day 2 and day 3 of the cycle. Hydroxycobalamin 1 ml subcutaneous every week. I'm guessing every week. Subcutaneous for 3 cycles. Cyclazine 50 milligrams PRN. So again, as required, 3 times daily by mouth for, I'm guessing it's 1/12, 1 month, and it's for nausea. So it's, when you go through chemo, you get a lot of nausea, so that's why this was prescribed there. So hopefully that was a good prescription for you. Okay, questions coming in. Love it. What happens if you substitute? If you substitute, as in the BMX mouthwash, because the content of the cough syrup is identical, most nothing would, and it's a mouthwash. You rinse and you spit it out. It's not a big deal. But in other cases, when you like, we have very little authority as pharmacists to actually substitute stuff on prescriptions. Like, if you substitute with the exact identical thing, it's okay. If you substitute it with something else, it's not okay. You need the okay of the doctor. You need the doctor to basically say it. But most of the times you'll ring the doctor and the doctor will ask you, like, okay, so what's the alternative that you would recommend? So you, as a pharmacist, you recommend the alternative, and the doctor says, okay, I'll go with that, especially with the shortages that we're dealing now, and we get a lot of that. Okay. Or do not the drug prescribed or do not have the drug prescribed. Um, like I said, the rule is you're allowed to switch between original and generics, but if you need to switch to something else, even if it's similar in action, but if it's an active, different active ingredient, you have to get the okay of a doctor. And you can PC the prescription. You can say PC, which means prescriber contacted. And that means that you have contacted the prescriber, and then you can say PC and whatever uh, you substitute with. And that means that if an inspector comes in and sees the prescription was for this medication, but you actually dispensed another medication, you can he sees the PC there and sees, oh, you contacted the doctor, and the doctor was okay for you to give this instead of that. So that's the usual way of doing it. We PC the prescription. Cool. I see a hi Sorin here, and I say hi back. I cannot see who I am saying hi back to, unfortunately. Um, what do you think about halving the patches in case you don't have the right dose in stock, or even short? FDA is not recommending this. I'm not recommending that either. I think in some cases they were doing it when a while back we were dealing with a severe shortage um, of the patches, but I would not, unless I reach the doctor and the doctor himself says, "Yeah, okay, give him half the patch," then I, as a pharmacist, am covered, and I am going to sleep well at night, and then I'm gonna say, "Yep, your doctor said it's okay for you to have the patch." Use half the patch, and that's it. But if I do not get an okay from the doctor, I would rather sleep at night, because if anything goes wrong, it all comes back to the pharmacist, and then you as a pharmacist have the full responsibility. But if you contact the prescriber, you pass on that responsibility to the prescriber himself. So it's best to actually guard your back. Okay. As a pharmacist, you have a lot of responsibility, and you don't need to take on unnecessary responsibility. So always double check with the prescriber. If you get an okay from the prescriber, then go for it. You can substitute it, but it's advisable to inform the doctor. Usually they don't like to substitute without their knowledge. You have to do this way because you need a good relationship with surgeries. Yeah, very good comment there. Um, always and always, as a rule, go and talk to the doctor, to the prescriber. Any changes, anything, run the changes by the doctor, and um, if you get through to the doctor and the doctor okays it, then you're much better off that way. Even if it takes much more time, it's a job well done. Don't rush it, and just because you want to save time, just do the job the best you can, and do the best you can to cover yourself in case anything does go wrong. Okay, and I see you guys are commenting back and forth. Yes, usually we contact the surgery to be sure that was an increase and not a mistake. Unfortunately, they often do mistakes. Yeah, unfortunately, we as pharmacists often do mistakes. Maybe not as many as the doctors, but we have our own, right? um, yeah, so we're all human, and yes, it can happen. And in the doctor's office, it might be a doctor's mistake or a secretary mistake. Maybe the secretary is prescribing the prescription and can sneak in a mistake there. So, oh, okay, I see now, Vilius. I had in mind if there is do not substitute and you do not have exact medication, and what happens if you substitute without informing the prescriber. Not much. Like if it's not available and you explain to the customer, hey, I uh, I don't have that brand. I cannot order it in, but I have a generic version. It has the same active ingredient. Are you okay with that? If the customer is okay with that, you're covered. Nothing wrong can happen to you. Um, where did this whole do not substitute thing start? Back in the day, the government used to only compensate the generic brands. It wouldn't compensate the price of the, so for a GMS patient, for example, a GMS patient pays 150 per item, right? But that's only if he accepts the generic version of the medication. If the customer says, "Oh no, that's not good for me. I took that and it's not good for me. I need the brand name, the more expensive one. Usually the brand names are the more expensive ones." Then the customer himself would have to pay the price difference from the generic price to the original price. But the government said, look, if the doctor says do not substitute on it, the customer won't have to pay the difference, because it means that only the original medication suits that customer. If we give him the generic, it will maybe cause him a reaction from the non-active ingredients of it or whatever. And the doctor really wants him to be on the original tablet, not the generic. So that's where all the do not substitute thing came from. Um, it's not that, like, if the patient agrees to it and says, "Okay, I don't get a reaction from it, or I don't, and I'm okay with the generic this time because you can't order in the original, we can substitute it, no problem." But it was most likely the vice versa that we couldn't do. We couldn't give, instead of a generic, we couldn't give a customer that was getting medication and that he wasn't paying the full price of, so under one of the schemes, we couldn't give him the original, the more expensive drug instead of the generic, the cheaper drug. That's where it all came from. Okay, let's see. Case today: patient with HIV looking for emergency contraception. What you do? What do you do? I've rang the consultant to find what HIV meds she is on. I asked her about sexual partner and what happened. Should I do more? If you're not comfortable in dispensing it, you can refer to the GP or to a clinic that, like a contraception clinic or whatever. In any case, if you think it's not safe for the customer to take that emergency contraception, you can refer. You can say, I will refer you to your GP because I don't have enough information to make sure that this is safe for you to take. I was unable to reach your prescriber, thus, it's better for you to go to a clinic or to an online doctor. If you can't get hold of your GP, there are online doctors um, that can prescribe the emergency contraception. So whenever you're in doubt and whenever you don't feel comfortable, you feel it's not 100% safe for that customer to take it, just don't just refer to an online doctor, refer to a GP, refer to a clinic, refer to someone else to take the decision, someone else that can have access to the file, the history file of that particular customer. Do not hesitate to refer. That's my advice on it. Like a disclaimer, nothing that I say here has any legal value. I'm not in any position to officially advise you. Everything we do here is for educational purposes. So we are advising one another in theoretical situation, but whenever you run across it in practice, don't hesitate to refer. Okay, it gets more complicated. She has refugee status, no GP, no money, no good understanding of English. And that's a tough one. Even refugees have a doctor that sees them. Even if they have no GP, you can refer to the doctor that looks after the refugee. If it's a refugee center, or it's very hard. You have to use your professional judgment. Um, the no good understanding of English is tough. I know. I know. I I'm gonna avoid answer like giving any advice in this because we're all over the internet. Um, yeah, it's strictly down to using your professional judgment, and it's not an easy one at all. Not an easy one at all. Um, well, very good questions there. Let me go down. Oh, I have a better look. See, I have a better script here of a high-tech prescription. You would have a HTTP number, and then here it would be HTTP, and then you would have a number. You would have the name of the consultant, the hospital that wrote it, and the address and the name of the customer. And then you would have Humira, 40 milligrams subcutaneous, 40 milligram dosage, EOW, every other week. So every other week for 6 months. So basically once every 2 weeks, you could say it that way as well. And then you would have the date and all that. So yeah, the every other week I think comes in useful for you guys. You see, on most like hospitals have separate script for script pads for controlled drugs. This one says not for prescribing controlled drugs. So if I were to have a controlled drug on this one, I would not dispense it because this is not a controlled drug form. So in order to keep things under control, they have special forms for that as well, because these can be stolen by someone and then they could write prescription. So the ones they use for controlled drugs, they're kept under tight security so they couldn't be stolen. This one actually says Augmentin 625 by mouth 3 times daily for 7 days, and then Nexium 40 milligrams by mouth BD, so twice daily for 2 weeks, because they're 52 weeks in a year, and then 40 milligrams once daily, so it's decreasing from twice daily to once daily for 2 weeks, and then it goes down to 20 milligrams once daily for 2 weeks. And then we have Imodium 10 milligrams by mouth twice daily as required PRN for 3 days, and then we have paracetamol 1 gram PO QDS, it means 4 times daily, PRN as well, so only as required. Perfect. And for the last ones, I wanted to show you guys a bit of the blister packs. So this is what a small tray would look like with only morning and evening slots, or morning and night. So if the customer has tablets that he only takes morning and evening or at night and nothing during the day, you can just use a small tray, or you can use a large tray, which includes morning, afternoon, evening, and night. And I have seen others that actually have 6 slots, but that's another deal. You see, you have a prescription here of the color of the tablet, the shape. You have to describe it, a code if it's written on it, and if it's tablet or capsule. You can see round, oval, white. In this case, they're all white. This one's red. So you kind of have a description of the tablet there. So you would have the prescription here. Let me go in. So you'd have the prescription. Let me see. Hopefully, I have it here. So the first one would be the furosemide and amiloride. So the brand name is Frumil, and the L/S means Frumil low strength because the 20/2.5 is the low strength. The 40 is the normal strength. So you can see the script says one to be taken daily, and we have a tick here in the morning. Okay, so that's one in the morning. In this case, they use ticks. It could have been one, the number one. Here, if it was 2 tablets, they would have put 2 ticks, or just write number 2. The second one is a atorvastatin, one to be taken daily. So we know atorvastatin is usually taken at night. So we have a tick in the night. And then we have the fluticasone spray, but that obviously doesn't go in the blister pack. But you see up here, we have the medication that goes outside of the blister pack. And it's the Flixotide, the Dufalac, the paracetamol that goes out, the Ibugel, and the Dalacin. They all go out of the blister pack. So we still give them to the patient, but they obviously don't go in the blister pack. And so we have the inhaler again. We have the paracetamol, which doesn't go in the tray. We have the Montelukast, 10 milligrams, and we have it here, and we can see it once daily, and it's once daily on the script as well. Then we have this one that doesn't go in the blister pack. We have the Isomeprazole 1BD, so one twice daily, 14 milligrams, and we have it here, 14 milligrams twice daily. We have Clonfolic on this script here, 400 micrograms, one daily, but it actually says here that it's stopped. So on one of the scripts, maybe a later script came in and it was actually stopped. So while these are all repeat issued by 6, so for 6 months, the following week or the following month, the prescriber could have said in a script saying, please stop Clonfolic or hold Clonfolic. So it was stopped on this date, the 19th of the 1st, 2022, okay? So we're not going to put that one in the tray, okay? So it goes on with Regulin and with all the other ones, as you've seen. And then let's find the tray that is for this one. So we should have 3 tablets in the night slot, 2 tablets in the evening slot, and 2 for 6 tablets in the morning. Unless the tray wasn't finished, of course. This one has rosuvastatin and donepezil, so this is another picture. Hopefully I have a picture of that. This is Alabram Regarin. Oh, this one's the one with Frumil low strength. Oh, funny enough, it should have had the 2 tablets in the evening slot. Unless they take the evening slots separately. Yeah, it should. What's this? No. That's the other one. Okay, so they merged everything up. So we have 245, 245 here. Then we have 246. So what they've done is they've put the 2 in the evening slot. They moved them into the night slot. Maybe that was the request of the customer. So that's why we have 5 tablets in the night slot and 6 tablets in the morning. And you can actually see them here. It's 2, 4, 6 tablets in the morning, and this is the night slot. You can see the 2, 4, and 5. So they're 2 yellowish, 2 whites, and one of the brown. So that's the 5 tablets there, and the 6 tablets in the morning. So they made a small tray from a large tray, basically. Maybe the customer said, I'm just going to take them all at night. I don't want to take them separately in the evening. These are the tweezers that you're going to use, so you don't have to use your fingers to pull tablets in and out of the tray, because you have to check each slot to make sure there's no extra tablets in it, or there are no less tablets than there should be in it. So these are just like little they're called tweezers. Like if they were metallic, women use them to pluck their eyebrows or stuff like that. But this one's a plastic one. You just grab it, and it's like a salad thing, like, and you grab it. So you have to make sure that each slot has the adequate level of medication, the exact tablets that the patient should be taking at that particular time. Now, having said that, Muhammad actually gave StreamYard, the app that I'm using, the okay to show me his identity, which is very smart. Great work, Muhammad. And you're watching us on YouTube. Great stuff. He says, hey man, appreciate what you're doing for the community. Go team, right? Okay, no worries. I'm glad you appreciate it. I'm glad to be of service and to be of help. So we have reached over 1,000 members in our English Facebook group. Today we're celebrating that. Out of those 600, 1,060 of you are, more than 60 now, are in our WhatsApp group, where we constantly ask each other questions and we help each other out, because we're already working in Ireland, which is great. 227 of you are in the WhatsApp group for the non-European pharmacists going through TCQR in order to register with the PSI, which is awesome. So do take steps forward. Do come. Like our community has layers of circles, and you can come from the wider circle to the inner circle and the inner circle. And the closer you get to Ireland, and when you get to Ireland, you can go into our WhatsApp group with pharmacists that are actually working in Ireland, and we ask each other dispensary questions and stuff like that, and we support each other. So yeah, that covers all that I wanted to say about prescriptions today. Thank you guys for being here for almost 80 minutes. I see no more questions there. If you guys have questions, you can still type them in the comments when you see the replay, and I will still answer them. If you're watching this on YouTube and you don't know where to join, I'll try to leave a description, a link to our Facebook group in the description, and you can join it. It's called Pharmacists for Ireland. You can search for it on Facebook, and you can join it. Here we try to teach pharmacists from all over the world everything they need to know in order to be equipped to work in Ireland as a pharmacist in a community or hospital setting. Perfect. I don't see any more questions there. Okay, this is where we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching the replay. Thanks for joining in live. You guys are awesome. I will see you in another video. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.